evening from San Ignacio Town. With the 9 o'clock news, I am Patrick Jones. In the headlines, Belize prepares for tropical system. Possible evacuation to begin on Tuesday. Police investigates murder in Hattieville Village, and annual Youth Department camp opens in Stan Creek. Stay tuned for details of these and other stories coming up after these messages.
The Men's World Championship Qualification Tournament for 2016 will be hosted in Belize, and the national channel only on Central TV and Internet is going to be bringing all the action to you starting August the 14th to the 20th at St. Catherine's Primate Gym. This will be a historic event in Belize, so it will be Belize, Panama, Nicaragua, Honduras, El Salvador, Guatemala, and Dominican Republic will participate in a 7-day tournament, 3 matches per day to determine the 2 qualifying teams to the continental round. The top 2 teams of this tournament qualify to the continental round, for which the top 5 team goes to the World Championship to be held in Italy, Bulgaria. So it is the male national qualifiers live on the national channel only on Central TV and Internet. Tune in.
Everybody can see.
Colby Entertainment and Princess Casino San Ignacio brings you.
Would you like to know more about the flora and fauna of Belize? Do you enjoy gardening and need some tips? Then tune in to The Garden Show with Belize Botanic Gardens every Saturday morning at 10 o'clock, only on the national channel.
Who said that deals only happen once a year or only on special occasions? Walk into any one of our Central TV and Internet offices to get free installation, free modems, and free MyTV subscriptions. Visit us whether you're in Belize City, Belmopan, San Ignacio, or Benque, or give us a call toll-free at 0800 Cable TV. Central TV and Internet. Bundle and save.
Bundle and save. Central TV and Internet.
Here now is the news in details. Belize is getting ready for an impending tropical system. At this point, the approaching system is described as a strong tropical wave. But by tomorrow morning, we will be talking about Tropical Storm Earl. But as it now stands, the strong tropical wave is over the central Caribbean Sea, just southeast of Kingston, Jamaica. The tropical wave continues on a westerly path at a forward speed of 20 miles per hour. It is bringing with it heavy rain and gusty winds. Over in Jamaica tonight, that island nation is starting to experience storm conditions. The latest advisory from the National Emergency Management Organization, NEMO, notes that Belize is in the path of the approaching storm, and as such, we need to be prepared for winds of up to 60 miles per hour, along with rainfall of between 4 and 6 inches. NEMO says that evacuation planning is in place to receive people from the Keys, and the National Executive Committee is scheduled to meet at 7 o'clock in the morning, where a firm decision will be taken on whether or not there is a need for an evacuation. The Department of Transport has notified key bus operators to be prepared to assist with an evacuation once the decision is taken. Both operators met today with the San Pedro Emergency Committee and are standing by. CEMO is making preparations to receive and transport people from the Keys to Belmopan and further west if necessary. Shelters are being prepared but remain closed at this time. NEMO is advising people on the Keys who feel it unsafe to leave the islands to do so on their own as a precaution for their safety. Persons who live in flood-prone areas and along the coast are strongly advised to move early. Residents and local authorities within their means are strongly encouraged to clear drains to reduce the risk of flooding, to trim trees, and to secure their families and homes. TNC 10 will be providing hourly updates on the approaching storm throughout the night and full coverage of emergency preparedness measures on Tuesday. Prime Minister Dean Barrow today hosted a press conference in Belize City to announce changes in his cabinet. The Prime Minister confirmed that Belmopan Area Representative John Saldivar is being relieved of the police portfolio. He remains, however, a full Minister of Cabinet, as the Prime Minister announced that the Ministry of National Security was being split in two, a separate police ministry and the Ministry of Defense. Saldivar is now the Minister of Defense with responsibility for the Belize National Coast Guard and the Belize Defense Force. The new Minister of Police is Senator Godwin Hulse, who remains the Minister of Immigration. The Ministry of Natural Resources is being removed from Minister Hulse, and the new Lands Minister is now Attorney General Vanessa Rittridge. Minister Rittridge will take over the Ministry of Natural Resources proper once she is appointed to the Senate. To make that happen, one of the sitting UDP senators will be asked to step aside. Police are investigating a Saturday evening murder in Hattieville Village in the Belize district. On their arrival in the Tropical Park area of the village around 5 o'clock on Saturday evening, police found the body of 44-year-old Giovanni Rosales. He had been chopped multiple times, including to the head and shoulders. Police say that their initial investigation revealed that Rosales works at a construction site in the Tropical Park area and was drinking with fellow co-workers at the site when he got into an argument with one of the men. That resulted in the fatal chop wounds. The body of Giovanni Rosales was transported to the KHMH morgue, where it now awaits a post-mortem examination. Police have since detained a Guatemalan national of Old Hattieville Village pending charges and are looking for another man from Melchor de Mencos, Guatemala. There was a stabbing incident early on Saturday morning in Camalota Village. The victim has been identified as 22-year-old Denzel Wagner, a resident of Roaring Creek Village. Police say that Wagner was socializing with friends at a party in Camalota early on Saturday morning when he was allegedly approached by another man identified as Nathan Guzman, who reportedly inflicted the injuries for no apparent reason. Wagner was stabbed to the upper left shoulder and he sustained a cut wound to the right thumb. Police are now looking for Nathan Guzman. You're watching the 9 o'clock news. We will have more of the day's stories for you right after these messages.
Make sure you cut this riverside good now. Knuckles down, I want it. And make sure I go see the river straight from the house, and I want one nicely area where we could picnic, you know. Then when you're done, you could start on the hill over there, so. See, I want it clean, 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 so we could plant.
Yes, Pa.
Hey neighbor, are you correct? You the peel by the riverside and over the up on that hill? Man, that will happen to you. You don't know about soil erosion? You don't know it's important for left one leaf buffer by the riverside with some trees and some shrubs?
Buffer for what?
Buffer for what? Boy, you see what they do? When it rain or when it dry, the soil wash away or turn loose, and wash away right into the river and cause pollution. And if the soil wash away, then you will lose some land too. And that's the same thing on the hillside. When the rain cause the roots and the trees and the grass not there to hold the soil together, it just wash right down and come by your house like one landslide.
What? For true?
Yes, man. I know I tell you no lie.
And how you know this?
From the Department of the Environment people, when they may come inspect one illegal dump.
Oh, I may think them people only look for them big resort. I never know that they look for all of that.
Oh yes, man. They look for everything for the environment. Watch ya. They only help with take care of things, you know. But that we fit take care of things. Cause when things happen, that all we get affected. Remember when they say happen, why Kendall Bridge gone? That mistake all of them big tree were cut down and drop into the river. You want it to happen again? Alright.
Help us protect the environment and our lives.
Welcome back to the 9 o'clock news. The National Evangelical Association of Belize today issued a press release calling on Prime Minister Dean Barrow to commission what they call an outside independent investigation into the brutal murder of Pastor Llewellyn Lucas. The association also wants an independent investigation concerning William Danny Mason and his activities in Belize. The NEAB statement says that the evangelical leaders believe that the Ministry of National Security and other government ministries are unable or unwilling to police themselves. Hence, an independent investigation would ensure that justice prevails. The evangelical leaders say they join with the Belize Chamber of Commerce and Industry in calling for rational measures to strengthen the rule of law and good governance, ensure citizen safety, and combat corruption. The National 4-H Foundation held its annual general meeting on Saturday morning in Belmopan. Young people from all over the country who are part of the movement converged on the George Price Center to hear about the 4-H program's performance last year and what plans are in the pipeline for the next year. Margaret Nicholas is the president of the National 4-H Foundation.
The last 12 months was extremely exciting. It's exciting in the sense that last year we had our AGM, as you know, at ITVET in Belize City. And one of the major things that we wanted to accomplish was our strategic plan, and we were able to complete that. We had assistance from Dr. Charles Henry, who was a consultant with the Department of Youth Services, and also Ms. DeWitt Eversley. We also had meetings with the National 4-H Center staff for their input into the document. And we had several strategic meetings to have an opportunity to look at the foundation for us to see where we wanted to go. And so with all that said, now we have our plan, we have our strategic plan, and that will part the way forward for us insofar as the plan is concerned. We were also able to visit with some of the clubs, particularly the one in Pomona. We were able to see firsthand the 4-H Pig project and the development of it, the selling, the fattening, the killing. For me, that was a really and truly exciting opportunity. We also had opportunities to visit the 4-H Center on several occasions. We were able to assist in some of the trainings as well. And all in all, the 4-H the foundation was extremely busy. We were also able to do a documentary, which we launched this morning, and also our jingle, because it is one of the things that we wanted to ensure that we have to make sure that we can brand and make sure that we can sell 4-H and make sure that 4-H evolved into one of the biggest youth organizations in Belize. So all in all, 2015, 2016 was and is a wonderful experience as we continue to move in the groove.
Now, looking forward, where is the 4-H movement heading?
Well, like I just said, it is heading for big things. One of the things we intend to do is to establish more clubs. We intend to do induction ceremonies for our clubs and our leaders. We plan to have a banquet sometime in November, fundraising, because one of the responsibilities of the foundation is to raise funds. So we have that in the pipeline as well for November, the banquet as well as a reunion. Because if you were listening earlier, you would understand that we have a number of 4-Hers out there who are holding some significant posts in this country. And so we want to bring them all together and for people to understand how important this move is, and it is not just an ordinary organization, but one that you want to belong to and that it has great potential for our young people. But in particular, one of the things that we really want to do this year is to really grasp the whole area of agriculture. We want to strengthen that component, because one of the things we want to do is to be able to feed Belize. Yes.
Talking about helping to feed Belize, do you see yourselves acquiring more assets so far as maybe land and equipment to facilitate that objective?
Well, as a matter of fact, we're in the process right now of dialogue with government to acquire some more land right next to the 4-H Center. as well as equipment, agricultural, of course. And we really want to be able to employ, we want to look at our staff and to look at the staff at the center and to see how we can get more staffers in the area of agriculture, the machines and all that we need to ensure that we could compare, not nearly like the Mennonites, but next to them.
Give me an indication of what has been the response from the business community, the private sector, to this whole initiative of the 4-H movement?
Well, I think the response has been a little bit slow, as I believe that we were there and now we're here. But I must say a big thank you to them. They had provided some of these prizes last year, and they're doing the same. And I think that as we grow and as we sell ourselves and we brand ourselves, I'm sure that they're going to be coming on board.
If people want to contact you, they want to come on board, how can they do that?
Well, I am at the National Committee for Families and Children, and the number there is 223-1180, 223-0059, and I could be found at 62 Cleveland Street. That is where I am.
During Saturday's AGM, reports were heard from various subcommittees. The annual youth camp sponsored by the Department of Youth Services opened today at the Georgetown Technical High School in the Stand Creek District. Over 100 young people from all over the country are attending this year's event. One of the participants from San Pedro Town spoke about her expectation for the camp.
Well, it's something new. I've never experienced something like this, and I really like it. I'm actually looking forward to trying this again next year.
Okay, so in regards to the sessions that we took earlier this morning, what did you learn?
Well, we had 2 sessions in the morning, and I really liked them because the first one was about how to use social media to get better at stuff. And the second one is about public speaking, which I kind of need some help on that. And I really like them a lot.
And how do you feel that the social media session will value in your life? Will be valued in your life?
Well, it was really important what we learned because lots of people don't use social media the proper way, and so I liked a lot for that session.
Okay, so thank you for your time.
The camp continues until Saturday. This is the news on the national channel. We will take a look at the weather right after these messages.
Hola, mi nombre es Vania Pat y les invito a la gran final del certamen Miss Queen of the West que se llevará a cabo en Sacred Heart Auditorium el 20 de agosto. No se lo fallen, comenzará a las 7 p.m. en punto.
Kendra Borland, 18 years old.
Rosanna Romero, 20 years old.
Tamika Armstrong, 20 years old.
Maria Cat, 18 años de edad.
Jem Lyons, 20 years old.
Y también les quiero invitar para el grand launching of the September Celebration Calendar, que se llevará a cabo el 6 de agosto en el Welcome Center y comenzará a las 6 p.m. en punto. No se lo fallen. Artistas como Ernestine estarán presentes.
Ernestine, and they call me Soca Queen. I love to shake up my waistline and drop it to the baseline.
Nine women, 1 ball, 1 diamond, 7 innings, 1 winner. It's a game of numbers. It's women's amateur softball in full high definition. Catch all the action from the diamond live on TNC 10, Belize's sport, news, and information station.
The sun was hot today, but change is on the way as there's a storm approaching the country. Here is the forecast for Tuesday. And that is a look at the weather with information provided by forecaster Anna Marie Guy at the Belize Weather Bureau. To summarize the news, here are the main points again. Belize prepares for tropical system, possible evacuation to begin on Tuesday. Police investigates murder in Hattieville Village, and annual youth department camp opens in Stan Creek. With the headlines, we end this edition of the 9 o'clock news. Thank you for joining us. I am Patrick Jones. Have a good evening and a good night.